Class dismissed.
Remember how scary your first days at school were, so I'd like you to be especially nice to Matilda.
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson.
Are you going to teach us anything, or are we just going to sit here?
Welcome to Pop Pedagogy.
Hey, Melissa, where are you today?
Hi, Nichole. I'm in Milan, Italy. Where are you?
I'm in Alexandria, Virginia.
Nice.
Nice. What snack are you watching movies with today?
Ooh, I have these really great Nutella cookies that I'm enjoying very, very much. I don't think I can get them back home. What about you?
I've been enjoying some Ben & Jerry's, the coffee toffee nut flavor. It's good. That's really good.
That sounds
and
excellent.
Ethical. I love ethical ice cream.
So, Nichole, could you tell the listeners what this podcast is about and where the idea came from?
Yeah, sure. So, I have a tendency to get very judgy when I'm watching teachers in movies and media or reading about them in books, and when their teaching methods are described, and having a lot of feelings and opinions about what I'm seeing. And I think, maybe a specific recent judgy episode happened when I was reading this really amazing book. I won't go into too much detail because this might be, a future episode, but I was reading this really amazing book by Angeline Boulley called Warrior Girl Unearthed. And in that book, one of the main characters is doing this student internship, and she has two different mentors throughout the book with, two very different approaches. And the story of the book itself was really good, but I kept going back to the differences between these two mentors and their approaches, and how it was such a good example that, teacher training colleges could use to kind of analyze, these different approaches to like student engagement. And I just thought it would be a cool idea to be able to talk about these things with somebody who's as interested in education and pop culture as I am. And so that's why I pinged you and I said, hey, do you want to chit chat and judge teachers with me? fictional teachers in media and TV and movies.
Yeah, and that was obviously very interesting to me because I love watching TV shows, I love watching movies, and, yeah, why not judging the characters? So this sounded like a really, really fun project. So I said yes. So for each episode, one of us will recommend the other type of a movie or TV show or book, a specific type of media that we're fond of. We'll watch it in our own time, and then we'll get together to chat about why it's interesting, what we thought about the characters, what we can learn from them as educators. And we might go on tangents as well because we have feelings and opinions. And I'm very excited about giving these fictional teachers gold stars, the merits, keep tryings at the end of each episode, and just kind of keep tabs about, the type of teachers that we're seeing on the screen to start. And this is not going to just be based on the Hollywood teachers. I think that's something that you also were very, very excited about.
Yeah. I think, first of all, we wanted to make sure that every teacher that we're talking about is like 100% fictional. So we're not going to be talking about like movies based on real people or like anything that has attachment to non-fictional person. So everybody will be fictional that we're judging. And then we really wanted to look at representations in media outside of like the Hollywood kind of sphere. So, world cinema, TV shows, books. And this season we have 2 episodes where we're looking at media from different countries than we normally see represented. And we're really excited, I think, to talk about those depictions and learn from them as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So why don't we actually go back a little bit and share more about who we are and why we care about education and pop culture. Do you want to talk a little bit about,
Sure.
Who are you?
I've been an educator since 2006, which, is going to age me a little bit. But I've also been a pop culture consumer probably since birth. I don't know. I think I was really inspired by the Mortal Kombat movie when I was a kid. Like, I don't know, it just really made me want to travel because the scenery from that movie was so like interesting to me. And like when I was first learning Chinese, like I overly consumed like Taiwanese dramas. I think like I learned a lot of Chinese from watching specifically Devil Beside You, 100% Senorita, Meteor Garden. I probably watched that like 3 different times. So kind of like international media, it's always like caught my attention. And then that's also like how I first became a teacher, because I was living and studying Chinese in China, and I got roped into teaching, as one does. That was like way back in 2006. I hadn't even graduated university yet. And at first I did not enjoy teaching because I had not been trained. I had no experience. I had no qualifications, but eventually I really found it to be my calling after getting over the first hump and like getting some training and getting mentorship. And in 2008, I went to teach in the West Bank in Palestine. And that was really when I saw the value and the impact of education on communities, and dedicated like my career to staying in education. And since then I've worked in, I think it's like 9 countries around the world, everything from 3rd grade teacher to teacher trainer to program manager. I've worked with the UN doing refugee education. So my passion and my commitment to the field of education is very deep. And I think that it'll just be really interesting to be able to kind of pick apart media representation of teachers from like that perspective. What about you, Melissa? How did you get started?
Oof. So I've been a teacher since 2010. Yeah. I graduated in 2009 from college. And in Peru, as soon as you finish high school, you have to choose like a career. Like you have to choose when you're 16, 17, if you want to be a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, which is a lot of pressure. So I decided to study languages education. So I started off as an English teacher in my city, working like multiple jobs, Monday through Sunday. Some of those were more fun than others. But then I started working in the nonprofit sector, and I started exploring different sides of what educational experience can be outside of school. And I became really interested and energized by it. So I started designing community outreach programs, training people, training adults, and that kind of professional pathway took me away from my country. I love traveling. I started traveling, I think not late in life, but like the first time I was on a plane ever was when I was 25 years old. And since then, I haven't really stopped. So thanks to education and teaching, and I've been able to also work in different countries like Panama, Ecuador. And also we met working at the Wikimedia Foundation, which is, where we work remotely serving an international community of volunteers, of educators. So that's been really awesome just to see, how the work that I do from my little computer back at home in Trujillo can reach, the teachers' lives in Ukraine, in Yemen, in Bolivia, like all over. So that's been a huge thing that I never saw myself doing. And I don't think I had like dreams of being a teacher when I was younger, but I did love pop culture and movies and TV shows. And my grandma was a teacher. The grandma who raised me. So I think there's always been that kind of connection there. But yeah, with that said, I'm just very excited to kind of marry these 2 interests, these 2 passions, and things that I'm very happy always to talk about, like pop culture and education and teachers especially.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to look at how teachers are depicted versus our real life experiences, and not just, one context, but across like multiple contexts, and especially with our network and our community of educator friends and colleagues that, kind of span across the globe. And hopefully we can bring some of them on to chit chat with us and review some pop culture media. Yeah.
We definitely want people to send us, episode ideas, recommendations on movies, on TV shows, books that we should be looking at and talking about, and yeah, just sharing their thoughts.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get started on this podcasting journey with you, Melissa. So, yay! So from now, listeners can tune in every week. We'll be reviewing a different movie, looking at different aspects of education, teaching education systems through how they're represented in the media. Our next episode, we'll be talking about Harry Potter and Defense Against the Dark Arts pedagogy.
Yes, definitely. Very excited to watch that movie again, and then chat about one of those teachers there. So yeah.
And listeners can tune in, bring your snacks. Let us know what snack you're bringing to the movie. You can also send in your episode ideas, and after each episode airs, you can go to the website and find related open educational resources about the topics covered in the podcast there.
Excellent. Well, I'll see you then, Nichole.
See you then.